Hello everybody. All right, I have a small haul to show you guys, and then we will do the new Deco Foil Duo Gel. All right, so I got a small order from Simon Says Stamp. There's the code for $5 off, good until March 1st. Okay. I don't normally order too much from Simon Says Stamp just because, again, I don't like to pay for shipping, but sometimes it's worth it. So in this case, they have their own envelopes on sale now. I was ordering my envelopes from My Favorite Things because they had a really good value on multicolor packs of envelopes. And so now I picked these up from Simon Says Stamp. This is the blue pack. I don't know what they're called, but it looks like we get 3, 6, 9, 12 envelopes for, I want to say, $5. So we get like a navy blue, a sky blue, and you get 3 of each one, kind of a turquoise blue, and a white. Okay, and then we have, of course, I said I would make more Valentine's cards this year. So, oh, that one was called set number 4. Set number 4, and this one is called set number 5. And it has more of the white. We have 3 of the light pink, 3 in red, and 3 in fuchsia. Okay, so like I said, I think it's $5 for a dozen, but they're really pretty colors. So that's set number 4 and set number 5 from Simon Says Stamp. They had a special right now where if you order anything from Crafter's Companion, you got this free stamp set. And I have been looking for this 6x6 paper pad. If you recall, I did get the 12x12 from HSN, but this 6x6 has been sold out everywhere, so I snatched it up. This is from Crafter's Companion, and I like this paper because it works well if you're doing any kind of like fairy theme. So this is their Winter Wonderland 6x6 pack. It's single-sided, it's not double-sided, but look at how pretty those little scenes are. And I think you get 2 or 3. Looks like 3 of each scene. So here are some snowflakes. So even though it's not Christmas anymore, these are some cute winter backgrounds. And like I said, I think these are great to do if you're doing like fairy cards. And I got the 12x12, so this is just a smaller scale of that. I mean, that right there itself is pretty. I mean, I don't know what else you could do. You're going to cut this up. It's so pretty. Yeah, that's where the paper hoarding comes in. I love all these moon scenes. Look at that. It's like a pink frosty winter theme. Some more winter tree backgrounds. There's a snowy winter scene. Is there? I thought there was a little deer back there, but I guess not. Okay, so yeah, so this is called Enchanted Christmas by Crafter's Companion, 48 pages, single-sided. Okay, so lots of pretty scenes there. So I got this free stamp set. One of the things that drives me nuts about their stamps is they are silicone stamps, so we will have to prime them. But again, it was free, so can't complain. So silicone stamps are going to be kind of rubbery. Yeah, these are definitely silicone, so they're stretchy and rubbery. So you want to prime these, and by priming them, what you want to do is clean them off pretty well. I like to use a sand eraser, or any kind of eraser, to erase the backside before you use them. And then what that does is it takes off any of that kind of manufacturing slide on there. And then I like to stamp it with Versamark first, and then use pigment inks work best. So either VersaFine inks or Distress Oxide inks. So pigment inks work best on these kinds of stamp sets. So if you have stamps at home that you're like, I can never get a good impression with these stamps, they resist the ink, they stamp blotchy, they're probably silicone stamps, and you need to prime them before you can use them. Not all clear stamps are photopolymer stamps. So these are definitely silicone stamps, but they're cute. I mean, it goes with our little birthday theme for the month, right? I also got this set of foil mates to try out. You guys saw I wasn't too happy. When you go with the thinner designs, I think it's tougher, but these are a little more solid, so I'm going to try these out again for the Halloween-y cards here. So there's two designs. You have solid hearts, and then you kind of have this viney heart. So we'll try these out and see how they compare. I'm really sad my friend Laura is retiring from Creative Vision Stamps, and she was my foiling pusher. And so I did order a couple things. A lot of her things sold out very quickly. So I picked up another set of autumn tags, which has 2 sheets of these, and they're really big. I'm pretty sure she's probably sold out of most everything, but you can head on over to Creative Vision Stamps and check it out. So I got some autumn tags. I also picked up these Valentine's Day foilables. They were sold out of the Christmas banners. I couldn't get any of those. I think almost all the foil is gone if it's not gone already. But this is the Valentine's Day foilables, and we get these cute. You can make these the front of the card. You can make them a background. You can make them the center of the card. You can make them the middle of the card. Whatever you want to do here. And I like that they're full sheet. So if I want to go in and I want to cut these with a die, that's not a problem. They're not already pre-cut. I can do whatever I want. If I want to layer them. I mean, it's super cute, right? And you have 4 different backgrounds and some more sentiments. So I was able to get a pack of those before she sold out. And then I got some more of the birthday sentiments, because these are just super easy and cute. You get 32 banners. They're already pre-cut, so all you have to do is foil them, and you don't even have to foil them. You can just banner cut them and stick them on the front of a card, on the inside of the card. There's many different fonts, many different ways of saying happy birthday. There's like, sorry I missed your birthday, you know, so, and then you choose the color of foil if you want to foil it, so you customize it to your card. No more crooked, messy stamping. So I definitely got some of those. And then I got this stamp for some of my friends who are turning the big 50. I don't want to say it out loud in case you have little ears that are listening. I also have 40 is the new F word. So now I have 40 and 50. So that's some of the stuff I got. But while you guys are waiting for, and I'll do this in a 2-part video, I'll edit it later, is I bought some of the new Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo. All right, so I did not buy the original Deco Foil Transfer Gel because if you've seen my video on what you can do with foiling, it's the exact same as this stuff here. This is Ranger Texture Paste Transparent Gloss, and we're going to do an example. And supposedly the difference is once this dries, it dries completely clear and it's done. Like it's not tacky. You don't need to do anything with it. You can leave it raised. It's really cool. However, what I discovered through some experimenting is that you can run foil over this and it will reactivate and the foil will stick to it. And it's really, really cool. In fact, here is my little sample card. So these butterflies in the background, that was a stencil I have, and I ran this texture paste through there. And then I ran some of this Creative Vision Stamps foil over it, and you can see we get these dimensional butterflies that were stenciled and foiled. Okay, really cool. Now, Deco Foil has stepped it up and said, well, we're going to make it better by making a gel that remains tacky, so you don't have to run it through a heat source. So you don't have to run it through a mink or a laminator. For those of you who maybe only do foiling occasionally and you don't want to invest in a mink or a laminator, but you still want to add some cool foil effects, that's where this is going to come in. So we're going to try both of these out. And unfortunately, you won't see the outcome right now, but I will do a reveal and add it to this video. So for you guys, it'll be one video. For me, it'll be a couple hours, maybe a couple days. All right. So let me start off by showing you the Texture Paste Transparent Gel. By the way, there is a matte version as well. So this is the matte version, okay? I don't really use this one. I like the glossy version because when my foil sticks to it, I want it to be shiny and glossy. And the matte version is a little dull. So again, when your foil goes to stick to it, it's not going to look as good. So try to get this one if you're just going to use one. Transparent, Texture Paste Transparent Gloss, all right? All right, so, and I did just buy a new one of these because I've been using this the whole time. And I got a new stencil from Simon Says Stamp. This one is called Tumbling Hearts. So it's just a bunch of hearts. I did order as well. I have some coming from the Not Too Shabby store. They have the brand new release from Honeybee and from Picket Fence Studios, I believe. So I have some more heart stencils coming from them. All right, so I'm not going to spray it with my Pixie spray or any of that stuff because we're just doing an example here. So this is, again, Texture Paste Transparent Gloss by Ranger. I want to make sure I put it on the right paper so we know which is which. So I labeled those on the back. Now, of course, you could put your purple tape down if you want to do that, or some Post-it tape or whatever's you got. Use what you have. Oh, that was kind of retarded. Oopsie. All right. Let me make sure I do this all correctly now. And, you know, I don't do a lot of Valentine's cards, but I told Leah this year I would help her because she wants to make them for her class. So I want to get some of these backgrounds kind of jump started, and that's why I bought all those foiling backgrounds, because that'll make it a lot easier for us. So there's a little dried up piece. We want to pick that off and move that to the side. And this kind of goes on. It's a little thinner than, say, cake icing. It's like buttering toast. That's what I would say. And, you know, you can put it on as thick or thin as you want it. And then, of course, you can scrape off any of the excess and put it back in the jar. I really don't have too much excess there, so we're just going to pull this off. And then you immediately want to clean your stencil, and any excess you're going to put back in the jar. So we're going to let this aside. Go put that in my little drying rack. I like to just wipe the edges. There's a little extra blob there. All right, so I'm going to go put that in my little drying rack. I'll be right back. Okay, so for our stencil, I'll put the lid back on here. Of course, I have my Clorox wipes because they just make it easier. I'm going to clean my little spatula off first. And I'm just going to kind of wipe my stencil down. Then I'm going to flip this over. And on this side, I'm going to wipe this part of the stencil down. You really want to clean your stencils off pretty well when you are done using them immediately, because, again, this is designed to stick and dry glossy, and you do not want that filling in all of the little pieces of your stencil and altering the way your stencil comes out. Okay, so let's get clean. We can toss that. Fresh one here. All right, so now we're going to use the Duo Gel. I wrote that on the back here. comes with this lid, and this is a, looks like a pretty tight lid in there. I haven't had any issues really with mine drying out. If you want to keep this lid, of course you can. It smells like glue. I mean, it really doesn't have a smell. It smells like glue. Same thing with the texture paste. We're gonna grab a glob of that, and exact same consistency and texture. So really easy to spread and put on. And generally I like to go in the same direction with my stencils because I don't want it to seep under the stencil and then kind of mess up my design. So you'll see for the most part, I always try to go in the same direction when I'm spreading pastes or anything on my stencils. Any extra, you're going to scrape up and put back in the jar. The thicker you add it, the more it's going to dry with dimension, which is pretty cool. The thinner you add it, the more kind of distressed look you get because it's a little flatter. And same thing, we're going to lift our stencil, attempt to lift our stencil. Okay, grab that. That'll go in our little drying rack. Now the instructions say to wait an hour. I did watch the video you guys suggested watching because I guess Nicole Sport did a video on it. And I don't have any of the flocking material, but apparently she had a problem when she didn't let it dry overnight and it was like ripping her flocking material. So I think what I'll do is let it dry overnight, and then I'll show you guys the difference in consistency and how they work with foil. So stay tuned for me. It's the end of this video, but I will film another video and attach it to this video. So that's all I have for right now, and I'll see you soon. Hi guys! All right, this is part 2 of the Deco Foil Duo Gel versus the Texture Paste Transparent Gloss. But before we get into that, it's the next day for me. For you guys, it's 2 seconds. I wanted to show you some others that I had done. Hold on while I pull a piece of foil out here. Okay, so earlier in the video, what I showed was this new Simon Says Stamp Tumbling Hearts stencil. Like I said, I do have a new one coming from My Favorite Things as well, so I'm excited to see that. Because Leah wants to make some Valentines for her friends, so I thought, why not? Let's make a whole bunch. So I made some glitter ones as well that I want to show you guys. So this is using the Gina K Glitz Glitter Gel in Red Velvet. So super pretty. Can't go wrong with traditional red when it comes to that. So I want to show you guys that. And then this one came out pretty neat. This is Nouveau Glimmer, which is called Plum Spinel. So it's like a, I can't even describe it. It is like a plum color, but it's like a dark pink. So that one also came out very pretty. So those 2 backgrounds. But on to the main event. And I stalled a little bit there because I have my Mink heating up. So I had these 2 drying in the drying rack. One of them is Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo. One of them is Texture Paste Transparent Gloss. Which is which you cannot tell by looking at them 24 hours later. They're both clear, glossy. They both have a little bit of dimension to them, again, just depending on how thick you put your paste on. And surprisingly enough, they both are not tacky or sticky. I really thought that the Deco Foil Duo Gel would be tacky or sticky. neither one of them are. So I'm not going to flip it over and tell you which one is which, because I think we need to figure this out together. So I grabbed some of this really pretty Gina K Fancy foils, because again, can't go wrong with red. And this is cool because it has little star confettis in there. So supposedly what makes the difference between the two gels is that one will work without any heat. That you can just put it on, press it through your laminator, and it will work. Or burnishing it with your fingers. So I have this one here. We're going to see if this is the Duo Gel. I don't think this is the Duo Gel. I don't see any transfer. So I'm guessing this is the transparent paste texture gloss, which means, yep, we have to use the Mink for that. And have the Mink warming up over here, so we'll bring that one back in. So here is the Duo Gel. Let me cut this foil down. Let's be proper about this. What are you doing there? What size are these? I think these are 5.5. Yeah, 4.25. So I might need a little stray piece here, but we'll find out in a second. Okay, so the idea behind the Duo Gel is that you don't need heat. That this will transfer on without heat, ideally with a pressure system like your die cutting, like your Sizzix die cutting machine, running it through your pressure plates. So I'm going to run that through the Gemini. While that's running through the Gemini, so this is the Duo Gel. Yep. Well, that's running through the Gemini. We're going to take the Ranger one. Yeah. And again, one of my complaints with these sheets is now I have to find a little spare piece just to cover that little edge there. It drives me crazy. Nope. Nopey nope. So, in order to maximize your foil, one of the things you can do is do this, or like I said, keep all of your little scraps as much as you can. And I'm going to have to end up cutting another piece. We'll do that in a second. And then the sandwich I'm going to use for my Gemini is going to be our base cutting plate. And you can use your regular die cutting machine too. So this is slightly, the foil is slightly sticking to it, but it's really not sticking to it. So we really need to add some pressure or some heat to this. I have a feeling this is going to have better results with heat, but let's try it out. Let's experiment. Then I'm going to add my magnetic pad. Where is my magnetic pad? Oh, right in front of me. And actually, I have my embossing pad. This is the Gemini embossing pad, which is just like a rubber pad. I'm going to put that one on first so that we have even more pressure. Then I'm going to add the magnetic pad. Then the Milky Shim. And finally, our top plate. So I'm really giving it a nice sandwich to press into that. So I'm going to run this through my Gemini. Or not. Alright. That was a pretty tight sandwich. You can see it pushed out the rubber embossing shim. Look at that. That was probably too tight, but I wanted all that pressure because this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the foil stick to that duo gel. I am not going to reveal this yet. Ha ha ha. You guys are going to have to stay tuned. All right, let's work on this guy. Just because I want it to look good, I'm going to have to cut a little trimmy piece here, which I hate doing. And then I keep all of these scraps in with their packaging. And be careful because these often stick 2 at a time on a sheet. So you think you're foiling 1 and you actually have 2 pieces of foil. So just be careful of that when you're going through these. So on here, I'm going to overlap that a tiny bit right there. And we're going to run this through the mini Mink. You could use a laminator, any kind of a heat source. So what the heat source does is it reactivates the transparent texture paste and it heats it up. And as it heats it up, the foil sticks to it. This is going to drive me batty because it's not perfect. I'm a perfectionist scrapper when it comes to foiling. All right. Good enough. Good enough. No! All right, I'll get it right. Promise. Anytime today, Nance. Okay. Good enough. So here we have our mini Mink. I have it warmed up to setting 3. Ooh, sorry. If you are using a laminator, you want your laminator set up to 5 millimeters, and you want to let it warm up for a minimum of a half an hour. You want it to be super hot when you're doing foiling. Okay, so while that's going through, we will reveal the duo gel pressed through to the voila! Actually, pretty perfect coverage. I cannot complain. So those of you who want to try foiling through a stencil and you don't have a laminator, you can use a regular die cutting machine. You can use your Sizzix, your Cricut, your Spellbinders die cutting machine. Just have a sandwich. And I think having that little embossing shim on there helps. And this is beautiful. Of course, we're going to use this on waste on toner paper. So that came out lovely. I'm very, very impressed with that. Now we have the Mink one. Now it's very important you let your Mink foil cool down. If you do not let this cool down, you may not have good transfer and good adhesion. So we want to cool this down before we reveal the foiling. All right, and this looks pretty good as well. Now, the biggest difference is, you can see here in some of the valleys, that is where I did not put the paste on thick enough. It was too thin, so the foil didn't get into the valleys and stick there. This seems to be a little thicker. I did not have that issue here. I think also too, using that rubbery embossing shim really pressed that into the paper, the foil into the paper. So on this one, because we really aren't pressing, we're just adding heat, we have a couple of those little valleys that are black. Doesn't bother me because it gives, again, the authenticity of being foiled by hand. It's up to you. If you would put this on thicker, you really wouldn't have that problem. But I think they both look great. But the Duo Gel works exactly the way it promised. So you do not need heat to do foiling through stencils. You can press it through your die cutting machine And you can see it's perfectly foiled, and this foil is really pretty and sparkly because it has like little confetti stars and glitter in there. So there you go, guys. I do like the Transfer Gel Duo as an option if you don't have a laminator. If you have a laminator, it's personal preference. You can buy this product and do it both ways. If you have some of this in your cabinet already, then you really don't need to go buy any of this if you have a laminator. Just options for you guys. If you have any questions about anything I use in this video, post them down below. I will link everything for you. If you like this video, as always, I appreciate your thumbs up. And once again, thanks for watching and keep on foiling. Bye-bye, guys.